This is the intro. This is the podcast intro.
Leave your questions in the comments. Any questions at all. Yeah, this is the podcast. I'll answer all of them.
This is the podcast.
Dude, that was awful.
That was so awful. That was so bad.
The worst podcast ever. What an intro. Wasn't that a great intro? I think it was. All homemade on Audacity. Well, I guess let's just jump right into it, guys. Welcome to the podcast. I guess this is a video podcast, so thank you for watching, listening. You know, I think what I'm going to do, because I didn't get a lot of questions from you guys, okay? Am I disappointed? Yes. Is the audio bad? Yes, because I'm not close enough to my microphone. There we go. Is that better? There we go. So yeah, this is bad, but that's okay, because I want your expectations to be down here. So if you're listening, picture my hand low to the floor, and if you're watching, you can't see my hand, because that's how low I want your expectations to be for this, okay? It's the first one. It's my first podcast, okay? Lay off. Back off. Okay? Get away from me. Click off this podcast, okay? I don't want you here. I'm kidding, okay? I'm being very facetious. And I'm sorry if you're watching. I keep looking at the viewfinder and not at the lens. So we're going to keep looking at the lens to make it feel like I'm making eye contact, guys. Boy, oh boy. 2 minutes in. I even swapped out my office chair. It was like $40 brand new. Because it slowly leaks air. And so in the video, I would just be doing this over the course of about 10 minutes. And then I would go, I'd have to stand up and then hit the thing and then I'd go, boop. And then I'd keep going down again. But anyways, this is the worst podcast. I don't know what the title is, you know? Maybe you guys can help me figure that out. But I do have a few things planned. Well, one big thing. Because you guys didn't give me any questions or topics on my YouTube video. Am I upset? Yes. Yeah, I am. Okay. But I'm not going to tell you that I am, right? So I'm not upset. At all. Sorry if you're watching. I got my microphone kind of in the bottom part. I don't have a very good setup yet, and I apologize. So it's out of focus because I have a 40mm lens. Do I know what that means? No, I do not know what that means. And I'm looking at the viewfinder again. Hello, camera. You know what? I'm just going to... Hold on. Well, no, I can't close it. I'll just leave it open then. Like I said, you guys didn't give me any questions. Let's go to Twitter. All right? Somebody retweeted this. Hey, boys and girls. Right? I'm starting a podcast this week. Oh, by the way, someone made a Twitter account that retweets any tweets that says I'm starting a podcast. So that's the person who retweeted this tweet. It was a bot account that just scans Twitter for those words and then retweets it, which is kind of cool. But it also means that not a single person saw this or interacted with this tweet. Is that embarrassing? No, because my expectations are low. And I'm a poet and I didn't even know it because those things just rhymed. Hey, boys and girls, starting a pod next week. What would you like me to talk? Doesn't matter. No one responded. So I'm like, oh, that's fine. I got a lot of Facebook people, you know. Lots of friends on Facebook because that's where your friends are. And nothing. I'm in a Facebook group called Prager Force. It is not a wing of, but it's a young adult group on Facebook that is set up to promote and spread the content produced by PragerU, and it offers a hub of communication for young students who want to talk about politics, who kind of feel isolated in the culture, as you know, conservative viewpoints aren't technically mainstream, I guess you would say. So text PragerForce to 64600 if you want to get in. I suggest it. Highly, what am I trying to say? What's the word? I feel like an old man. Oh, what's the word? Come on, Haven. What is it? I don't know the word. I don't know it. I highly... Oh my goodness. We're just going to keep going. This is so bad. Anyway, posted something on there. Andrew Abreu, am I pronouncing your last name right? Said he subscribed, but you didn't give me a question, Andrew. So what am I going to talk about? That's okay. If you're still watching, oh my goodness, 6 minutes in, we're going to be, what is it called? Explicating a Ariana Grande song. Not a fan. One of her hit songs was God is a Woman. Is it catchy? Yes, but that is all it is. Vastly theologically incorrect. And there's just lots of imagery in music videos in general, but especially this one that I want to cover tonight. And I think it's going to be interesting. This is something I did in high school. Any high school pals of mine watching, listening. Mr. Furcell's class had us explicate a poem. I forget what it's called. The Swimmer, maybe? But it's about this guy. It's a very vague poem, but it's about a guy who is growing apart from his family, wanders around the town, drinking he had 7 drinks throughout the poem that spans the time of about a day. And you go through and you pick out the motifs, right, the themes from it, and you try and draw conclusions from these themes and the imagery and the subtle hints that he drops throughout the poem. And that's kind of what we're going to be doing with this Ariana Grande song, which is 7 rings. 288,723,658 views. That's a lot. So a very influential person putting out some very toxic content that might be strong. I know that sounds strong, but this is how stuff goes downhill, right? Is that what I'm trying to say? It's just not good stuff. Do not suggest. 0 out of 5 stars. Went to my personal Facebook account, sent out a same... I cannot talk. It's been a long day, guys. Sent out a similar message. Hey, everybody. Blah, blah, blah. YouTube channel, starting a podcast. Give me stuff to talk about. Only person who commented was my mom. That's how cool you know I am. She says, all things farming. I have good news and I have bad news, Mom. I am going to talk about farming a lot. Bad news, probably not tonight, because I'm filming this one. And if my calculations are correct, I got about just under half an hour of video footage, so Ariana Grande is going to take up a lot of that space. So we'll see. Eventually, though, once I get my act together, I'll talk about more things. But I didn't get any questions from anybody except Mom, which I will save for next time. All right, I'm going to take it. If you're listening, I just grabbed it. That's the sound it makes when I grab stuff. I'm going to go set it on the shelf. That's the sound of me setting something down. Right, pick it up, set it down, just like that. Let's just jump right into it, all right? Call me Philip DeFranco, because we're just going to jump right into it. I'm not going to play the song, because I don't want to get copyright struck or sued. I don't know how that stuff works, but if it happened, that would be not good. So we're just going to go through the lyrics. Well, some of the lyrics and then just the imagery from it. I'll explain. Lyrics. Ariana Grande, called 7 Rings. Now, I'm a very visual person, so when I hear the word 7, I think of other things that have 7 in them. And the first thing that came to my mind was the 7 Rings of Hell, which I looked up, and that's not a thing. It's the 9 circles of hell. And I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't really match up. But the 7 deadly sins. Something? Maybe? Possibly? Absolutely. That absolutely lines up. Okay? Wikipedia. 7 deadly sins. It kind of falls apart at the end, I'm going to admit, but the first 4 are like, well, I didn't, for those listening, I didn't just pick something up. That's also the sound that I make when things line up, right? First deadly sin of the 7 deadly sins, gluttony. First lyric of Ariana Grande's song. Yeah, breakfast at Tiffany's and bottles of bubbles. Okay. Coincidence? Maybe. I sound like a crazy person. Second deadly sin is prostitution or fornication. Fornication just generalizes any sexual activity outside of marriage, right? And the second lyric of Ariana Grande's song is girls with tattoos who like getting in trouble. Okay, that's kind of suggestive, I would say. I might be crazy. Okay, number 3. Third deadly sin. Avarice, which means greed. I don't even know if I pronounce avarice right, but it's basically greed. Next lines of Ariana Grande's song. Lashes and diamonds, ATM machines, buy myself all of my favorite things. Right? Got all that stuff. Another deadly sin. Sadness, which I didn't know was a deadly sin. Next line. Been through some bad shit. Bad word. Not going to say it. I should be a sad B word. Sadness. Kind of alluding to that. I might be crazy, but this seems, especially with the imagery in these songs, it just seems like, I don't know who's behind the scenes pulling the strings like a little puppet, but I think they're setting up imagery and drawing lines to things with deep meaning to where it's subliminal almost, right? Like you don't realize it's happening, but it's there in the background, and it's kind of it's just weird, okay? It's just weird. Anyways, and at that point my analogy kind of falls apart, but you get what I mean. Anyways, let's go to the music video itself and just kind of look through what it is. And I'm not showing it. Even if I could show it, I don't think I would, because it's very provocative. It's basically soft pornography at this point. And if you look at the trending page on YouTube, it's pretty atrocious. I mean, it's pretty awful. It's just full of garbage music, pushing garbage morals most of the time. It's just not good. But we're going to look at some of the imagery. Oop, I have the sound on. We're going to go ahead and turn that down. Now, this is one thing I've been looking into, but I can't figure out. So it's set up in front of this house, painted white, kind of a inner city suburb house. I mean, it's got bars on the windows, but it's all painted white, and it's got these old Cadillacs in the front yard, 3 of them. And their license plates each have a whole bunch of numbers on them that appear to be dates. But I looked into them and I couldn't find anything significant. But anyways, and it's panning in and out to these license plates right at the beginning. That's kind of weird. Just lots of women, scantily clad, in a music video. Just kind of indulgent, self-indulgent. You kind of get the feeling of, you know, it's kind of like the Lady Gaga "I was born this way," right? I was made this way. Don't try and change me. Attitude going on. All right, and it shows up. And this is, okay, I'm proud of this connection I made. We'll come back to it later in the video, but the whole style, neon stuff, and the title of 7 Rings is, and also, I know this is very confusing and probably not entertaining as a podcast, but I think I'm going to take this footage and cut it together for a video later that's going to be more, what should I say, lucrative, entertaining, better eye candy, in a good wholesome way, not like an Ariana Grande way. Good mind food, good nutritious brain food, okay? But on the porch, you have Ariana Grande and her, what do you call it, entourage, crew, and the word drugs spray painted on the side of the building, you know, and another license plate with another, you know, 1995 or 93 date. Lots of weird dates. I don't know what those mean. I did Google a lot. I went through actually I don't use Google. DuckDuckGo I used to go find this stuff. So you have drugs spray painted on the side of the building, going through just kind of some wide shots. And now this is a trend I see in the lots of music and in just the celebrity culture in general, is portraying women as animals. You know, they do the whole cat, and you see it even, it's not like an upper class, what do you call it, elite thing either. I mean, you see the same thing in rural areas, Halloween, you know, all the girls from high school saying, "I'm a cat. I'm a sexy cat." And it's like, that's just really kind of demeaning to the human spirit, wouldn't you think? I mean, we're pretty special humans, right? God made us like him. And in this shot, Ariana Grande's got, these weird ears on, diamonds, and later she's doing these weird poses like a dog. It's weird. It's unsettling to me. I think to a lot of people. And after the first shot of her with the ears on, you come to the front yard and there's a dog house. But it says, I think it says tool house. A tool being a what's the word I'm looking for? A jockey dude who, it's kind of the hookup culture now. A tool. Ariana Grande can hook up with a tool and then kick him into the tool house. The dog house, kind of a synonym there. Weird. Disheartening. Again, not encouraging wholesome behavior, responsible acts. It's just kind of the whole, I do what I want, I do what feels good in the moment, not really paying attention to the consequences or the greater good, or all the people who are seeing what I'm doing and might act like I act. Let's keep going. Another shot of Ariana Grande in the kitchen on all fours like an animal, and then it cuts to toy animals on the counter. It's all like subliminal stuff. It's just really wacky and really weird. And then a close-up of champagne, of alcohol. Another thing I've been seeing is a lot of Asian references. It was an Asian style, you see the Asian style toys on the counter, and then you got she's eating sushi. And the same thing, I sound like a crazy person, but I like to analyze the BTS music video, because they did the same thing but the opposite way, because they're from South Korea, I believe, and kind of did the imagery of the stuff from the United States symbolizing, them kind of going all around the globe. Their fame, extends across the known planet. And this might be something similar. Similar imagery saying, I own the whole world. This was kind of a big single she dropped, I think. And maybe I'm digging too deep. I'm willing to say that. Maybe I'm just digging a hole that I can't get myself out of. All right, well, let's keep going. Oh, sorry, I gotta make sure I stay in frame. But everybody's dancing. Now it kind of goes into a party scene inside the home. It's cutting in and out of just alcohol, dancing, very provocative. Do what you want, do what feels good, don't do what's right. Not good. Yeah, it's just a lot of this stuff is just unsettling. I don't know if you guys heard, but Cardi B, another famous, I believe she's Latina singer, admitted that she would, as a stripper, would drug men and would rob them of their stuff. So that's not good at all. And there's not really a hubbub going on about that, and that's pretty awful. I mean, can you imagine if a man did that? If like a black man from a beloved 1990s or 1980s sitcom, whose last name rhymed with Buxtable, did something similar to that, can you imagine? He might be like in prison or something. It's crazy. The double standard of culture. Yeah, it's just insane. The double standards that people place and that people don't see, and that, oh, my hair is all over the place, and that people who claim, so that our warriors, our social justice warriors, will turn a blind eye to injustice on a national scale, and that some of the people who are highest up on these ladders of fame and influence are some of the worst perpetrators of the things that they're trying to equalize after the fact. The evil things that people have done that they're trying to rectify, they'll turn a blind eye to if you're high enough, if you're up high enough on the social ladder. Now this scene This is again in the home. It cuts to like a hologram of this video game. All right. Now, I went through another Google hole and discovered that this is a projection of a game called Neon. It's a racing game, and you see this car racing down a highway towards a city, and I believe it's Seattle. You can see right there's a silhouette on the sun that has a graphic that matches up perfectly to the opening graphic of this video. So picture the opening graphic of this video is it's in the very same style of this video game hologram, right? And this video game hologram is from a video game called Neon, which is just a car racing game, but the opening menu for Neon is a triangle in the sun. So if you're not familiar with the whole conspiracy world, right, the triangle is kind of the sign of the Illuminati. Again, that with the eye, right? You know, on the dollar bill, on the back of the dollar bill, you got the pyramid. On the top of the pyramid is a triangle with an eye in it. And so those two signs, both the triangle and the eye, are signs of the Illuminati, which is kind of the elite class of the world, tweaking things, especially in media, in music, and in entertainment, to kind of bring the world more towards a sinful nature, is at least the gist of what I've heard of it. And so again, you can call me crazy, but is it a coincidence? And Ariana Grande has alluded to this quite often, you know, the whole Illuminati thing, or is that Cardi B? I think that's Cardi B. But that a hologram of a video game, guys, it's a split second. It's that quick. Just a quick hologram, a few frames long in this 3-minute video of a video game called Neon, which, and the logo of this is a triangle. Okay, maybe I do sound crazy. I think I do sound a little bit crazy, but this is just the way my mind works. And especially with these $1 million videos, this thing almost has 300 million views. Nothing is an accident. Every single frame of this video was put there for a purpose, and not a good one in most cases, I believe. And again, in this shot or in the next, so you have the Illuminati thing, all right? And often through this video, you get these images of a crescent moon, neon sign on the wall. And I'm sorry if this isn't very entertaining, but I find this very interesting. So the neon moon on the wall, right, is commonly associated with the feminine, right? You have the sun, that's the masculine father, and the moon is the feminine mother. And the crescent moon is also associated with, I'm taking this from answers.com, is also associated with clairvoyance and knowing without thinking. Knowing without thinking. To use the energy of the moon does not involve conscious thought. So to wear or have around you the symbol of the moon is to state your universal intention, to use your intuition, to simply go with what you feel, and to know that to do this is for your greater good. Okay, that sounded confusing, but the gist of that is what I'm getting is do what your instincts tell you to, and don't kind of think into the future. Just kind of instinctual, reactionary actions. Haven, you sound like a genius. And that comes up often in the video. It's a very common image. You see it on the wall. You see it on the table along with that neon graphic of the neon video game, the whole triangle. Do I sound like a crazy person? I do. We got to get through this, guys. Let's keep going. And again, we're just getting images of Ariana Grande acting like an animal. And we have on this one, okay, call me crazy again, but you have the champagne towers. Now, these are often like in a pyramid cone shape, and it is right here. So you have another pyramid reference, again, pouring champagne onto the tower of these champagne glasses. Not a good sign. That's not stuff I want to see. Again, with the crescent moons in the background. I know I sound crazy, guys, but none of this is accidental. None of it's accidental. And even in this shot, You have again the champagne glass, young lady just swigging down a bottle of booze, and then in the background a neon triangle on the wall. None of it's by accident, guys. More shots of just, common debauchery, scantily clad women. And then you have this shot that kind of reminds me of a temple. Ariana Grande on the steps with long flowing hair and a moon on either side. And kind of palm frond looking. You kind of get an Egyptian feel. Like a goddess. And in the background there's these weird kind of statue looking women with their faces covered with bunny ears. So again, alluding to sexuality and just overall promiscuity, and it's just very weird. And you think someone's job was to put all this together. There's a shot here where you see that the champagne triangle falling down to the ground, and then it comes to the shot of her acting on all fours again. It's just kind of like an irony of acting upright and kind of like a trophy. I am a trophy. I am the ideal, but yet acting in a way that is undignified and unbecoming of a person. I mean, it's kind of just demeaning of the whole human spirit, I feel. And that's pretty much all the imagery that I see in this one. Yeah. So if you guys are listening, I know this was different, but I do hope it makes you think and makes you more observant, I guess. This was a wacky podcast, let me tell you that. But I do appreciate you being here if you're listening this far. It's very interesting, very weird. Very weird. Let me know if you enjoy this sort of thing. I got a couple minutes on the camera, so I'm going to try and wrap it up. I'm shooting a podcast. Come back later. Thank you. Hi. What do you need? Cool. He's gone. Never mind. Bye, everyone. Sorry. I'm not sorry. Anyways, if you like these, I'm thinking about doing a video on this one, make it a little more entertaining, a little bit more consumable. If you're listening, this is what it sounds like when I think about the word consumable. Just good old consumable content. Yeah, very interesting. Also, to make the next, if you didn't like this podcast, okay, it's your fault. First, I'm going to lead off with that. I'm going to end with that. It's your own darn fault if you didn't like this. I told you to drop topics. I told you to give me questions, but you didn't do either. Okay, so go ahead and do that this time. So the next time, this podcast is more of what you think is interesting and what you want to watch. So, with that said, like, subscribe, commit a hate crime on that notification bell, smash that subscribe button, and go watch all my other videos, every single one. And if you're listening, thank you for listening. It's probably a video, so you can go ahead and look at the screen right now. Hi. Hello, listener. Is this the first time you've been seeing my face? It's in focus. Audio is very good. So expect more good things coming. Video-wise, audio-wise. And Haven, why don't you go ahead and take us out with an outro. My outro is just going to be the intro. But at the end.
This is the intro. This is the podcast intro.
Leave your questions in the comments. Any questions at all?
Yeah, this is the podcast.
I'll answer all of them.
This is the podcast.
Dude, that was awful.
That was so awful. That was so bad.
The worst podcast ever.